HarperCollins presents Sentenced to Murder by Sue Minix. Read by Rebecca Lachance. Chapter 1. Silence blanketed Riddleton Park at this hour on a February Saturday morning, and my senses reveled in the lack of input. In a few months, the ball fields would buzz with kids trying to get their games in before the sun rose too high and the temperatures vaulted into the 90s. Right now, the picnic shelters stood empty too, although they'd likely fill up this afternoon with birthday parties and folks enjoying a moment in the sun. Pine trees dotting the landscape remained the only constant from one season to the next. Tall and majestic, their needles turned brown and fell, only to be replaced by fresh green ones. Tiny water droplets plastered my face as my running buddy, Angus Halliburton, and I trotted laboriously through the early morning fog. The rest of the Riddleton runners were on the other side of the mile-long track around the park. Not for long, however. They'd already lapped us twice, and we were only finishing our first trip around. Needless to say, we didn't run out of a need for speed. I'd never asked Angus why he'd joined the group, but I suspected it had more to do with camaraderie than exercise. The 47-year-old New Hampshire transplant opened the Dandy Diner over 10 years ago, but making friends in a small southern town like Riddleton, South Carolina, could be a challenge, even for a gregarious soul like Angus. Especially since he moved here from northern New England. Yankee distrust still ran deep down south, where the Civil War had never really ended. I glanced over at him as he puffed along, face the color of an overripe apple, his black comb-over plastered to his scalp by moist air and sweat. The wet V extending down from the neck of his plain gray sweatshirt offset the circles under his armpits, and his matching gray sweatpants seemed to stick to his legs as he ran. Poor guy had to be miserable, but he never complained and never broke stride. "You okay?" I asked. "You're awfully quiet today." As the general manager of the Riddleton Rumor Mill, Angus typically regaled me with all the juicy tidbits he'd picked up in the diner during the week. Not that I had a particular interest in the intimate details of my neighbors' lives, but it made him happy to share them, so I uh-huhed and laughed in all the appropriate places. And his information had come in handy more than once when I was investigating the rash of murders that had struck Riddleton since I'd moved back home 2 years ago. Sometimes it felt like I played a character in one of my mystery novels. "I'm fine, Jen. You didn't seem interested in talking, so I'm giving you your space." My space? I looked down at my German shepherd cantering along beside me. "You hear that, Savannah? He's giving me space." She pricked her ears and forged ahead, falling drops of saliva marking her trail. We might have to cut our run short today. The wet air made it difficult for my dog to dissipate heat since the liquid wouldn't evaporate from her tongue. Fortunately, the sun still hung near the horizon, the temperature only in the 50s. Otherwise, she might already be in trouble. I turned to Angus. "See? She doesn't believe you either. What's up?" He lifted the bottom of his sweatshirt, exposing his t-shirt-covered midsection to wipe perspiration off his face. "I'm trying to decide whether to decorate the diner for Valentine's Day." "There's no contest for this holiday, right?" The town council often conducted a decoration contest for major holidays during the year, Valentine's Day not usually being one of them. The townsfolk went nuts over the competitions, despite the rewards for victory mostly being symbolic. Bragging rights went a long way in a small town. No contest, but I'm still considering it. Love needs to be celebrated, in my opinion. It's so difficult to find. Difficult to find? Is Angus lonely? He'd always seemed so happy to me, but the more I thought about it, the more sense it made. There weren't very many eligible women over 40 in town, and being tied to the diner all day didn't give him much opportunity to meet any of them. "What's the problem, then? You should do whatever makes you happy." Spoken like a true friend. His plump lips spread into a smile. "What about your plans for Valentine's Day? Eric taking you someplace special?" Eric O'Malley was my boyfriend, a rookie detective with the Riddleton Police Department, and the former high school track star about to lap us for the third time. We'd been friends since my return to town and only started dating last summer. The relationship had stumbled over some rocky places the last few months, making us question the wisdom of it at times. However,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?